You open the app. Again, the screen lights up. Their name sits there, unchanged, unanswered. You scroll. You pause. You scroll again. The pull is quiet, but it holds. Each tap a tether. Each glance a weight. You know it changes nothing. Yet you check, clinging to what's already gone. What if holding on isn't loyalty? What if it's just a loop, a reflex you mistake for choice? You think it keeps them close, but does it? Or does it only keep you trapped? Each check carves deeper, not into them, into you. The edge dulls, the clarity fades. Invisible, the cost grows. You don't see it, not yet, but it's there. A gray streak behind the chest, a silent theft of presence. You move through the day, but part of you stays tethered to a screen, to a name, to a pain you can't name. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. The rope is in your hand. You can drop it. No one else will. The choice isn't theirs. It's yours." A silent act. A cut. Detachment begins where the reflex ends. When did you last pause? And not react. Not check. Not reach. Look closer. The urge pulls. Always the same. You follow. Always the same. The loop doesn't break. Because you don't. You think you're choosing, but are you? Or is it just the pain driving? The screen waits, but you don't have to. Detach. Not to forget. To see. The loop is yours to break, or it tightens, and you sink. You think holding on proves strength. You grip tighter. The message stays unread. The profile stays silent. You wait. You check. You wait again. Loyalty, you call it. Duty. Love. But what is it, really? A choice or a trap? Clinging doesn't bind them to you. It binds you to pain. The more you hold, the less you see. The loop spins. You think you're standing firm, but you're sinking. Each glance pulls you deeper, into regret, into numbness. You mistake it for control, but it's the opposite. You're not holding them. You're holding a void. The truth cuts. Strength isn't in the grip, it's in the release. Detachment isn't surrender, it's clarity. You think you need them to stay, to answer, to see you. But what if you don't? What if the chain is one you forged? The screen glows, but it doesn't own you. Why keep it? Principle 1. The trap of checking. You open the app. The screen glows. Their name sits there, silent. You scroll. You pause. You scroll again. The reflex kicks in. Not once. Not twice. Every day. Every night. The pull is quiet, but it's there. You tell yourself it's just a glance. Just a moment. But moments stack. Minutes bleed. Hours vanish. You're not looking for answers. You're looking for something else. Something you can't name, clinging to a shadow that doesn't move. Each check is a cut. Not deep, not loud, but it adds up. The edge dulls, the mind fogs. Numbness creeps in, unnoticed. You think you're in control. You think you're just curious. But curiosity doesn't bind. This does. Each tap tightens the loop. Each glance steals a piece of presence. You move through the day, but part of you stays there, tethered to a screen, to a name, to a pain you won't release. Epictetus said, "You are not troubled by things, but by your view of them." The screen doesn't hold you. Your choice does. You check because you hope. You hope because you fear. You fear because you're still attached. The loop isn't them, it's you. The trap isn't the app, it's the reflex. Break it. Not tomorrow. Not later. Now. Turn off the screen. Not to hide. To SEE. One action. One cut. The loop weakens. when you stop feeding it. You know the urge. It hums, it pulls, it whispers. Just one more time. But one more time is never one. It's a chain. You know the cost, the hours lost, the clarity gone, the quiet you can't find. So why feed it? The screen is just a tool. The trap is your hand. Withdraw, not to forget. To reclaim. Shut it down. Walk away. Breathe. The urge will scream, but it can't chase you. The loop breaks when you do. Not checking is the first step. Not because it's easy, because it's yours. The screen stays dark and you don't have to react. The phone sits there. You pass it. The urge hums, but you keep walking. A small act. A silent win. The loop doesn't own you. Not this time. Principle 2. Explaining to the void? You draft the message. Words pile up. You rewrite. You delete. You rewrite again. Each sentence a plea. Each pause a hope. You want them to understand. To see your side. To know you didn't mean to break. You hit send. Or you don't. It doesn't matter. The urge to explain burns. You think it will fix something. Close the gap. Make the silence stop. But the silence stays. The void doesn't answer. It never does. Every word you pour out is a weight. Not on them. On you. You think explaining proves you're right. Proves you're good. But it doesn't. It traps you. Each attempt pulls you deeper into rejection. Not theirs, but yours. You reject your own stillness. You trade it for a fight you can't win. The void doesn't care. It doesn't read. It doesn't reply. Yet you keep speaking to it. Why? Because you think it owes you. Because you think pain deserves an answer. Seneca wrote, "You cannot reason with what doesn't hear. The void is deaf. Your words are noise. They don't build bridges. They build cages. You lock yourself in, waiting, hoping, overthinking. The reflex is old. You've done it before. Explained to someone who didn't listen. Justified to someone who didn't care. And each time, you lost something. Not them. You. Your edge. Your quiet. Your presence. Say less. Not to shrink. To stand. One choice. One cut. The cage opens when you stop talking. The urge hums. It begs you to clarify, to defend, to make it right. But what's right about chasing ghosts? You know the cost, the nights spent replaying, the words that never land, the pain that grows heavier. So why feed it? The void doesn't need your story. It doesn't need your truth. Withdraw, not to lose, to reclaim. Breathe. Let the message stay unwritten. Let the silence stay unanswered. The void doesn't define you unless you let it. Silence isn't surrender. You need to understand. Number you don't. The voice cuts through. Cold, clear. You listen, and the urge fades. Silence isn't surrender. Principle 3. The weight of holding. The photo sits in your gallery. Old, faded. You swipe to it again. The memory stings. Not loud, not sharp, but heavy. You don't delete it. You don't look away. You hold it. Like a stone in your hand, like a chain around your chest, you tell yourself it's just a moment, just a piece of the past. But it's not. It's a reflex. Clinging to what's already gone. Every time you linger, you sink. Not fast, not loud, but steady. The weight grows. Regret festers. Silent. You think holding keeps it alive, keeps them close, but it doesn't. It keeps you tethered to pain, to loss, to a version of you that doesn't exist anymore. The photo doesn't change. The memory doesn't soften. Yet you grip tighter. Each glance pulls you under. You lose ground. You lose presence. The stone is yours, but it's drowning you. A rope you carry sinks you. That's the truth. No one tied it. No one asked you to hold it. You chose it. You keep choosing it. Why? Because letting go feels like betrayal, like weakness, but it's not. It's power. Detachment is a cut, not to erase, to free. Let go. Not tomorrow. Now. Delete the photo. Close the app. Breath. The weight lifts when you drop the stone. You feel the pull. It hums. It whispers. Just one more look. But one more look is never one. It's a loop. You know the cost. The nights spent sinking. The days spent heavy. The quiet you can't find. So why hold it? The past doesn't need your grip. It doesn't need your pain. Withdraw. Not to forget. To stand. Let the memory fade. Let the stone fall. The loop breaks when you choose. Detachment is a form of respect. The gallery is empty now. The screen is dark. You walk away, lighter. The stone is gone, and you don't look back. Principle 4. Reacting to absence. They don't reply. The message sits. Read. No answer. The silence cuts. You feel it. The urge to text again. To call. To fill the void. You think it's them. Their absence. Their choice. So you reeked. You type faster. You check more. You chase harder. The reflex is instant, automatic. You think it will bring them back, make them see. But it doesn't. It pulls you apart. Each reaction is a theft, not theirs, yours. You give away presence. You trade it for anxiety. Silent but heavy. The more you push, the less you stand. The silence isn't theirs. It's yours. You're the one breaking it. You're the one chasing shadows. Each message sent, each call made, it's not connection. It's loss. You lose ground. You lose clarity. The absence doesn't change, but you do. You unravel. Epictetus said, "You are not troubled by things, but by your view of them. Their silence isn't your burden. Your reaction is. You think you need their voice, their words, their presence. But you don't. You need yours. Non-reaction is the cut. Not to deny, to reclaim. Pause. Don't text. Don't call. Breathe. The silence holds. When you hold the line, the urge burns. It screams. Say something. Do something. Fix it. But fixing breaks you. You know the cost. The hours spent waiting. The nights spent spinning. The pain that grows louder. So why feed it? Their absence doesn't own you. Your reflex does. Withdraw. Not to hide. To see. Let the silence sit. Let the void stay empty. The loop stops when you stop. You don't have to react. Marcus Aurelius sat alone. No answers came. He wrote, and the silence held. You sit now, and the choice is yours. Principle 5. The cost of pleasing. You say yes. Again. They ask. You give. They expect. You bend. The smile you force is tight. The words you choose are careful. You think it keeps them close. Keeps you safe. Keeps the peace. But it's not peace. It's a reflex. Pleasing to avoid the sting of rejection. You think it's control. It's not. It's surrender. Each yes you don't mean is a fracture. Small, silent, but real. You don't see it at first. You feel it later. The weight behind your chest. The invisible erosion. You give your time, your energy, your truth. And what's left? Emptiness. Not theirs, yours. You think pleasing builds connection. It doesn't. It builds a cage. You lock yourself in. You lose your edge. You lose your presence. They don't notice. But you do. The quiet grows heavier because you let it. A chain you forge binds you. That's the truth. No one asked you to please. No one demanded your yes. You offered it. You keep offering it. Why? Because you fear their distance, their judgment, their silence. But their silence isn't your burden. Your reflex is. Hold the line. Not to push them away, to stand. Say number not to wound, to reclaim. Breathe. The cage opens when you stop bending. The urge hums. It whispers. Keep them happy. Keep them near. But at what cost? You know it. The moments you gave away. The truth you swallowed. The pain you buried. So why feed it? Their approval doesn't define you. Your reflex does. Withdraw. Not to hide. To see. Let the yes stay unsaid. Let the smile stay unforced. The loop breaks when you choose. You don't owe anything. She said no, and the room stayed quiet. No chaos came. She stood, and the weight lifted. You stand now, and the choice is yours. Principle 6. Suppressing the signal. You feel it rise. The ache, the anger, the pain. It hums inside, loud, sharp, alive. You clench your jaw. You swallow hard. You push it down. Deep, far, gone. You think it's strength. You think it's control. You call it moving on. But it's not. It's a reflex. Suppressing. What demands to be seen? You think it's over. It's not. It's waiting. Each push buries deeper. Not the pain. The truth. You don't erase it. You hide it. And it grows. Silent, heavy. Isolation creeps in. Not from them. From you. You think suppressing saves you. It doesn't. It traps you. The ache doesn't fade. It festers. The anger doesn't vanish. It burns. You lose clarity. You lose presence. You think you're free, but you're chained to a signal you won't hear because you won't look. Seneca wrote, "What need is there to weep over parts of life? The whole of it calls for tears." The pain is not your enemy. Your reflex is. You suppress because you fear. You fear because you cling. You cling because you don't trust. Trust this. Observe. Not to fight. To see. Breathe. Let the ache rise. Let the anger speak. Don't push. Witness. The signal clears when you stop hiding. The urge pulls. It screams. Bury it. Lock it away. Keep going. But burying builds walls. You know the cost. The nights spent numb. The days spent hollow. The quiet you can't find. So why feed it? The pain doesn't break you. Your reflex does. Release. Not to surrender, to stand. Let it surface. Let it pass. The loop breaks when you look. Stillness is enough. The room is quiet. The ache rises. You breathe. It passes, and you remain. The signal fades, and you don't run. Principle 7. Chasing the past. The memory hums. A moment. A laugh. A glance. It plays. Again. You lean in. You let it linger. You think it's harmless. Just a thought. Just a flicker. But it's not. It's a reflex. Chasing what no longer exists. You think it brings them back? It doesn't. It pulls you away. From now. From you. Each chase is a theft. Silent. Slow. You don't notice at first. You feel it later. The weight in your chest. The fog in your mind. Emptiness grows. Not because they're gone. Because you're not here. You think chasing keeps it alive. It doesn't. It keeps you tethered. To loss. To regret. To a shadow you can't touch. The memory doesn't change. The past doesn't bend. Yet you run. You lose ground. You lose presence. And call it longing. A bridge you cross collapses behind you. That's the truth. The past isn't a home. It's a trap. You built it. You keep walking it. Why? Because letting go feels like losing, like forgetting. But it's not. It's power. Be here. Not to erase, to stand. Withdraw. Not to deny. To see. Breathe. Let the memory fade. Let the flicker die. The moment passes when you stop running. The urge pulls. It whispers. Go back. Relive it. Hold it close. But holding steals your now. You know the cost. The hours spent sinking. The days spent gone. The quiet you can't find. So why feed it? The past doesn't need you. Your reflex does. Pause. Not to forget. To reclaim. Stay still. Stay here. The loop breaks. When you do. Not doing is power too. He closed the book. The page stayed blank. No words came. He walked, and the past stayed behind. You walk now, and the choice is yours. Principle 8. Denying the pain. The ache hums. Quiet. Persistent. It sits behind your chest, a shadow you don't name. You shrug it off. You move faster. You work harder. You tell yourself it's nothing. You're fine. You've moved on, but it's not nothing. It's a reflex, denying what's already there. You think it's strength. It's not. It's avoidance. Each denial builds a wall, not around the pain, around you. You don't see it at first. You feel it later. The tension in your jaw, the fog in your thoughts. Isolation creeps, not from the world, from yourself. You think denying makes it fade. It doesn't. It grows, silent, heavy. The ache doesn't shrink. It spreads. You lose clarity. You lose presence. You think you're free, but you're trapped in a lie you tell yourself because you won't look. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it's not right, don't do it. If it's not true, don't say it." The pain is true. Denying it isn't. You deny because you fear. You fear because you cling. You cling because you don't trust. Trust this. Witness. Not to drown. To see. Breathe. Let the ache speak. Let it be. Don't run. Observe. The truth clears when you stop lying. The urge pulls. It screams. Keep moving. Ignore it. You're stronger than this. But ignoring builds chains. You know the cost. The nights spent restless. The days spent hollow. The quiet you can't find. So why feed it? The pain doesn't own you. Your reflex does. Release. Not to surrender. To stand. Let it surface. Let it pass. The loop breaks when you look. Pain doesn't mean truth. A man sat still. The ache rose. He didn't flinch. It passed, and he remained. You sit now, and the choice is yours. Principle 9. Overthinking the silence. Their words stop. The chat goes quiet. The phone stays dark. You stare. You wonder. You replay. What did you say? What did you miss? What could you fix? The silence grows, and so does your mind. It spins. It pulls. It builds stories. You think it's clarity. It's not. It's a reflex. Overthinking what can't be known. You think it's solving. It's sinking. Each thought is a weight. Not theirs. Yours. You don't see it stack. You feel it later. The knot in your chest. The haze in your head. Anxiety creeps. Not from their silence. From yours. You think overthinking finds answers. It doesn't. It traps you. In loops. In doubts. In shadows you create. The silence doesn't speak. It doesn't explain. Yet, you dig. You lose ground. You lose presence. And call it effort. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." The silence isn't your burden. Your mind is. You spin because you fear. You fear because you cling. You cling because you hope. Hope for answers that aren't there. Stillness is the cut. Not to ignore. To see. Pause. Don't replay. Don't rewrite. Breathe. Let the silence sit. Let the unknown stay. The loop weakens when you stop spinning. The urge hums. It begs. Figure it out. Find the reason. Fix the gap. But fixing breaks you. You know the cost. The hours spent spiraling. The nights spent lost. The quiet you can't find. So why feed it? Their silence doesn't define you. Your reflex does. Withdraw. Not to hide. To stand. Let the thoughts pass. Let the silence be. The loop breaks when you stop. The void is where it clears. Keep thinking. Number. Let it go. The voice cuts through. Cold. You listen. And the spiral stops. You stand. And the silence holds. Principle 10. Escaping the mirror. The feeling rises. Sharp. Heavy. It sits right there. You don't look. You scroll faster. You work harder. You turn the music louder. Anything to drown it. Anything to run. You think it's freedom. You think it's moving on. But it's not. It's a reflex. Escaping what you already carry. You think it's gone. It's not. It's waiting. Each escape builds a shadow. Not outside. Inside. You don't see it grow. You feel it later. The weight in your bones. The fog in your chest. Numbness spreads. Not because you ran, because you didn't stop. You think escaping saves you. It doesn't. It traps you. In noise. In distraction. In a loop you can't outrun. The feeling doesn't fade. It follows. You lose clarity. You lose presence. And call it coping. Epictetus wrote, "You cannot escape yourself. The mirror is yours. The pain is yours. Running doesn't break it. It binds you. You escape because you fear. You fear because you cling. You cling because you won't face. Face this. See. Not to drown. To stand. Breathe. Turn off the noise. Sit with it. Witness. The mirror clears when you stop running. The urge pulls. It screams. Keep moving. Drown it out. Stay busy. But running builds walls. You know the cost. The nights spent empty. The days spent lost. The quiet you can't find. So why feed it? The pain doesn't chase you. Your reflex does. Pause. Not to surrender. To reclaim. Let it rise. Let it be. The loop breaks when you look. You can end without drama. The music stops. The screen goes dark. You sit, and the mirror holds. The feeling passes, and you don't run. Principle 11. Hoping blindly. You wait. For a message. For a call. For a sign. You tell yourself it's coming. Any moment now. They'll see. They'll change. They'll return. You hold your breath, and you hold the hope. It feels like strength, like faith, but it's not. It's a reflex. Hoping blindly for what isn't yours. You think it's patience. It's not. It's a tether. Each hope is a cut. Silent. Slow. You don't feel it at first. You feel it later. The knot in your throat. The haze in your days. Emptiness grows. Not because they're gone. Because you're waiting. You think hoping keeps you close. It doesn't. It pulls you apart. From now. From truth. From presence. The sign doesn't come. The message doesn't arrive. Yet you wait. You lose ground. And call it love. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Accept whatever comes to you, woven in the pattern of your destiny. The future isn't yours to force. The reflex is, you hope because you fear. You fear because you cling. You cling because you won't release. Release this. Let go. Not to lose. To see. Breathe. Stop waiting. Start standing. The tether breaks. When you stop pulling, the urge hums. It whispers. Hold on. They'll come. It'll change. But waiting steals your now. You know the cost. The days spent frozen. The nights spent empty. The quiet you can't find. So why feed it? Their choice doesn't define you. Your reflex does. Withdraw. Not to forget. To reclaim. Let the hope fade. Let the sign pass. The loop stops when you do. Let go isn't weakness. She stopped checking. No message came. She breathed, and the world didn't end. You breathe now, and the choice is yours. Principle 12. Avoiding the truth. The thought stings. It rises. Sharp. Unasked. You know what it says. You know what it means. But you turn away. You fill the silence with noise. You drown it with tasks. You think it's peace. You think it's progress. But it's not. It's a reflex. Avoiding what's already there. You think it's gone. It's not. It's growing. Each dodge is a weight. Not loud, not fast, but steady. You don't see it build. You feel it later. The tension in your shoulders. The haze in your mind. Grief festers. Not because of them, because of you. You think avoiding spares you. It doesn't. It traps you. In loops. In lies. In a truth you won't face. The sting doesn't fade. It sharpens. You lose clarity. You lose presence. And call it survival. Seneca wrote, "There is no person so severely punished as those who subject themselves to the whip of their own remorse." The truth isn't your enemy. Your reflex is. You avoid because you fear. You fear because you cling. You cling because you won't see. See this. Observe. Not to hurt, to stand. Breathe. Let the thought rise. Let it cut. Don't run. Witness. The truth clears. When you stop dodging, the urge pulls. It screams. Keep busy. Push it down. Move on. But avoiding builds shadows. You know the cost. The nights spent restless. The days spent heavy. The quiet you can't find. So why feed it? The truth doesn't break you. Your reflex does. Pause. Not to surrender. To reclaim. Let it surface. Let it be. The loop breaks when you look. You don't owe anything. The room is still. The thought rises. You don't flinch. It passes, and you stand. The truth holds, and you don't run. Principle 13. Attaching to shadows. You see their name. A post. A story. It flickers, and you linger. You don't click. You don't message. But you stay. You watch. You hold the moment, like it means something. You think it's harmless. Just a glance. Just a thought. But it's not. It's a reflex. Attaching to what's not real. You think it's connection. It's not. It's a chain. Each linger is a theft. Silent. Subtle. You don't notice at first. You feel it later. The pull in your chest. The fog in your days. Numbness grows. Not because they moved on. Because you haven't. You think attaching keeps you close. It doesn't. It traps you. In echoes, in ghosts, in a shadow that doesn't breathe. The flicker doesn't hold you. Your reflex does. You lose ground. You lose presence. And call it memory. Epictetus wrote, "What need is there to cling to what is not yours? The shadow isn't them. It's you. You attach because you fear. You fear because you hope. You hope because you won't release. Release this. Detach. Not to erase. To see. Breathe. Scroll past. Close the app. Withdraw. The chain breaks. When you stop reaching, the urge hums. It whispers. Stay. Watch. Feel it again. But feeling steals your now. You know the cost. The moments spent frozen. the clarity lost, the quiet you can't find. So why feed it? The shadow doesn't need you. Your reflex does. Pause, not to forget, to stand. Let the flicker pass. Let the name fade. The loop stops when you do. Silence isn't surrender. A screen went dark. No story played. She walked away, and the shadow stayed behind. You walk now, and the choice is yours. Principle 14. Begging for closure. You reach out. One more time. A text, a call, a question. You want answers. You want reasons. You want the gap to close. You think it will settle the ache, tie the loose ends, free you, but it doesn't. It's a reflex, begging for what they won't give. You think it's resolution. It's not. It's a leash. Each plea is a wound, not theirs, yours. You don't see it bleed. You feel it later. The knot in your throat, the weight in your chest. Rejection grows, not because they're silent, because you're chasing. You think closure comes from them. It doesn't. It comes from you. The more you beg, the less you stand. You lose clarity. You lose presence, and call it trying. Seneca wrote, "No one can give you what you must take for yourself. Closure isn't theirs to grant. It's yours to claim. You beg because you fear. You fear because you cling. You cling because you won't cut. Cut this. Let go. Not to lose. To see. Breathe. Stop asking. Stop waiting. Withdraw. The leash breaks when you stop pulling. The urge burns. It screams. Demand the truth. Get the answer. End the pain. But begging builds cages. You know the cost. The messages unread. The calls unanswered. The quiet you can't find. So why feed it? Their silence doesn't own you. Your reflex does. Pause. Not to hide. To stand. Let the question die. Let the gap stay. The loop stops when you do. You don't have to react. The phone stayed silent. No answer came. He turned it off, and the ache passed. You turn away now, and the choice is yours. Principle 15. Replaying the wound. The scene plays. Their words, their look, their absence. It loops, unasked, unstopped. You see it in the shower, in the car, in the dark. You analyze. You question. You rewrite the script. You think it's understanding. You think it's healing, but it's not. It's a reflex. Replaying. What can't be changed? You think it's insight? It's not. It's a trap. Each replay is a scar. Not theirs. Yours. You don't feel it deepen. You feel it later. The weight in your lungs. The fog in your days. Regret grows. Not because of what happened, because you won't let it pass. You think replaying finds answers. It doesn't. It binds you. To pain. To loss. To a moment you can't rewrite. The scene doesn't shift. The wound doesn't close. Yet you play it. You lose ground. You lose presence. And call it closure. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The memory of everything is very soon overwhelmed in time. The wound isn't your now. Your reflex is. You replay because you fear. You fear because you cling. You cling because you won't release. Release this. Stillness is the cut. Not to forget. To see. Breathe. Stop the loop. Let the scene fade. Withdraw. The trap breaks. When you stop watching, the urge hums. It whispers, go back. Find the flaw. Fix the past. But replaying steals your now. You know the cost. The nights spent spinning. The days spent heavy. The quiet you can't find. So why feed it? The wound doesn't need you. Your reflex does. Pause. Not to deny. To stand. Let the memory blur. Let the loop die. The trap stops. When you do. The void is where it clears. The screen stays blank. No scene plays. You breathe. and the past stays silent. You stand now, and the choice is yours. Principle 16. Feeding the fear. The thought strikes. They're gone. They don't care. You're alone. It hits fast, cold, raw. You feel it grip. Your chest tightens. Your mind races. You don't pause. You chase the thought. You build it taller. You make it real. You think it's truth. You think it's you. But it's not. It's a reflex, feeding what doesn't need to grow. You think it's instinct. It's not. It's a chain. Each fear you fuel is a theft. Silent. Deep. You don't see it take. You feel it later. The knot in your gut. The haze in your nights. Anxiety builds. Not because they left. Because you let it grow. You think feeding fear protects you. It doesn't. It traps you. In spirals. In shadows. In a story you write. The fear doesn't hold you. Your reflex does. You lose clarity. You lose presence. And call it survival. Epictetus wrote, "What need is there to fear what you cannot avoid?" The fear isn't your fate. Your reflex is. You feed it because you cling. You cling because you doubt. You doubt because you won't see. See this. Non-reaction is the cut. Not to hide, to stand. Breathe. Let the thought pass. Let the grip loosen. Witness. The chain breaks. When you stop fueling, the urge pulls. It screams. Hold it. Fight it. Make it real. But feeding builds cages. You know the cost. The nights spent trembling. The days spent lost. The quiet you can't find. So why feed it? The fear doesn't own you. Your reflex does. Pause. Not to run. To reclaim. Let it rise. Let it fade. The loop stops. When you do, you don't have to react. The thought came. He didn't chase it. He breathed. And the fear passed. You breathe now. And the choice is yours. Principle 17. Clutching the story. You tell it again. In your head. To the mirror. To the dark. Their words. Your fault. The moment it broke, you shape it. Polish it. Make it yours. You think it's truth. You think it's you. But it's not. It's a reflex. Clutching. A story that doesn't serve. You think it's clarity? It's not. It's a weight. Each retelling is a bind. Silent. Slow. You don't feel it tighten. You feel it later. The ache in your chest. The fog in your days. Regret grows, not because of what was, but because you keep it alive. You think clutching explains it. It doesn't. It traps you. In loops. In blame. In a narrative you wrote. The story doesn't free you. It chains you. You lose ground. You lose presence. And call it justice. Seneca wrote, "You have no need to tell yourself stories about what's past. The story isn't your now. Your reflexes. You clutch because you fear. You fear because you cling. You cling because you won't release. Release this. Let go. Not to forget. To see. Breathe. Drop the words. Drop the blame. Withdraw. The chain breaks when you stop telling. The urge hums. It whispers. Repeat it. Know it. Own it. But owning steals your now. You know the cost. The nights spent trapped. The days spent heavy. The quiet you can't find. So why feed it? The story doesn't need you. Your reflex does. Pause. Not to deny. To stand. Let it fade. Let it pass. The loop stops. When you do. Not doing is power too. The mirror is silent. No story plays. You turn away, and the weight lifts. You stand now, and the choice is yours. Principle 18. Chasing their approval. Their words linger. A nod, a smile, a silence. You measure it. weigh it, chase it. You shift your words. You tweak your actions. You bend. You think it's connection. You think it's worth it, but it's not. It's a reflex, chasing what isn't yours to hold. You think it's belonging. It's not. It's a leash. Each chase is a theft. Quiet. Deep. You don't see it take. You feel it later. The knot in your gut. The haze in your nights. Invisible. The cost grows. You think chasing approval builds you up. It doesn't. It tears you down. You give your truth. You trade your edge. You lose presence. For a glance that fades, their approval doesn't last. Your reflex does. You run. You lose ground and call it effort. Epictetus wrote, "Who are you to please, if not yourself?" Their nod isn't your worth. Your reflex is your burden. You chase because you fear. You fear because you cling. You cling because you won't stand. Stand this. Hold the line. Not to push. To see. Breathe. Stop shifting. Stop bending. Withdraw. The leash breaks when you stop running. The urge pulls. It screams. Earn it. Win them. Be enough. But chasing builds cages. You know the cost. The moments spent small. The truth you hid. The quiet you lost. So why feed it? Their approval doesn't define you. Your reflex does. Pause. Not to hide. To reclaim. Let their silence sit. Let their nod pass. The loop stops when you do. You don't owe anything. She stood still. Their eyes passed over. No nod came. She didn't flinch. You stand now, and the choice is yours. Principle 19. Holding the blame. Their words cut. Their absence stings. You point the finger inward. You replay it. You rewrite it. You take the weight. You think it's honest. You think it's fair. But it's not. It's a reflex. Holding what isn't all yours. You think it's truth. It's not. It's a trap. Each blame you carry is a chain. Silent. Heavy. You don't feel it lock. You feel it later. The ache in your bones. The fog in your mind. Shame grows. Not because you failed, because you won't release. You think holding blame fixes it. It doesn't. It binds you. To guilt. To loss. To a story you don't need. The weight doesn't lift. It grows. You lose clarity. You lose presence. And call it duty. Seneca wrote, "You have no cause to complain of any man's injustice, if you choose to be just to yourself." The blame isn't your burden, your reflex is. You hold it because you fear. You fear because you cling. You cling because you won't cut. Cut this. Let go. Not to deny, to see. Breathe. Drop the fault. Drop the weight. Withdraw. The chain breaks when you stop carrying. The urge hums. It whispers. Own it. Fix it. Be better. But owning builds walls. You know the cost. The nights spent heavy. The days spent small. The quiet you can't find. So why feed it? The blame doesn't define you. Your reflex does. Pause. Not to run. To stand. Let it pass. Let it fade. The loop stops when you do. Detachment is a form of respect. The mirror is clear. No fault remains. You turn away, and the weight falls. You stand now, and the choice is yours. Principle 20. Waiting for permission. You pause. You hesitate. You feel the urge to act, to move, to let go. But you don't. You wait. For a sign. For their words. For the moment to feel right. You think it's caution. You think it's wisdom. But it's not. It's a reflex, waiting for what isn't coming. You think it's patience. It's not. It's a tether. Each weight is a theft. Quiet. Slow. You don't see it drain. You feel it. Later. The knot in your chest. The haze in your days. Emptiness grows. Not because they're gone, because you're stuck. You think waiting keeps you safe. It doesn't. It traps you. In doubt. In hope. In a choice you won't make. The sign doesn't come. The words don't arrive. Yet you stand still. You lose ground. You lose presence. And call it timing. Epictetus wrote, "How long will you wait to demand the best for yourself?" The permission isn't theirs. It's yours. You wait because you fear. You fear because you cling. You cling because you won't act. Act this. Detach. Not to rush. To see. Breathe. Stop looking. Start choosing. Withdraw. The tether breaks when you stop waiting. The urge hums. It whispers. Hold on. Wait for them. Wait for clarity. But waiting steals your now. You know the cost. The moments spent frozen. The chances lost. The quiet you can't find. So why feed it? Their choice doesn't free you. Your reflex holds you. Pause. Not to stall. To stand. Let the sign pass. Let the moment be. The loop stops when you do. You can end without drama. The clock ticks. No sign comes. You move, and the world doesn't break. You choose now, and the tether falls. The phone lies face down. No glow. The room is still. No hum. No pull. Your hands rest. Open. Empty. Nothing moves, except your breath. The urge came. You felt it. The reflex stirred, but you didn't follow. You stayed. Not because it was easy, because it was yours. The silence holds. Not heavy, not loud, just there. You didn't chase. You didn't explain. You didn't bend. A moment kept, not for them, for you. Presents, reclaimed in the pause. Not a victory, not a loss, just a choice. A cut, a line you held. When did you last choose silence and mean it? Not to hide, not to wait, to stand. The question lingers, not for an answer, for a mirror. You see it now. The loop, the tether, the weight, and the power to let it go. Stillness is enough.